And that's it. And that's how it's done. Hi, I'm Walt. And today I have the keys to the kingdom because Mike Lafferty is buried in snow somewhere. I hear they have that in Colorado. This is the BAM podcast. And today, in conjunction with Wargate and Forgotten Ruin, we are doing the Forgotten Ruin playtest using the Super 6 system. To my that way, we have John playing the Chief.
Hello, everybody.
Right on. Further that way, we have Jason playing Viking.
All right.
Good morning or afternoon, depending on where you're at. Right?
Excellent. Going that way, we have Aid Smith. And who are you playing, Aid?
I keep forgetting the guy's name every time you ask me this.
Is it Polo?
He's so well prepared.
Polo, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's Polo.
Polo, yeah. Every time. I can't remember it. It's ridiculous. I just have to remember Little Mint. And I'll remember
a little mint with hole in it.
Exactly.
And then last but certainly not least, we have Lala playing Knuckles. What's going on?
Yep. Knuckles. Hi, everyone. Looking forward to continuing on because Walt was trying to cut us off before this. I remember Walt was trying to stop us from completing our mission. Yeah. He gave us a mission. He said, we're not going to finish this.
So you guys had basically chased your missing team upriver. And you came to the base where these guys were holed up. And one of the things that happened is you met with one of their leaders. They came out with some people, but then there was a counterattack. Somebody that they might have accidentally upset, or maybe accidentally on purpose, flooded that cavern that you guys went in. They smoked this dude with an arrow to the eye. Take that, Skyrim. And you guys fanned out and were getting ready to enact your plan. These guys are giant, kind of like 6.5 foot to 7 feet tall. Oops, wrong button. 6 to 7.5 feet tall, kind of like walking dingoes or like hyena men.
They ain't kobolds.
How do they compare to me?
How do they what?
How do they compare to me? How's for Viking? How tall are they?
You're pretty stately, but a few of these dog men are just outright gargantuan. But yeah, they're flooding, and it looks like they are very intent to get up into here.
Quick question, Walt. Where are the hostages again?
So you guys tucked them over here.
Was that all of them, or were there still some down below?
It was half, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it was half. There was still some down below.
Apparently, it's got about 50 or 60. Did you not say?
Yeah.
So, what are you guys planning on doing, and how are you going to interact? Because they're rushing; they're not waiting.
You see, the problem we have here is the fact that these are a complete new entity, are they not? These could be good guys as far as we're concerned. You know. We're going after the bad guys who've got our hostages. We've had to do some kind of crazy deal with them, and now these people are turned up. For all we know, these are the good guys. If we turn around and start taking out these walking hyenas, are we not,
causing more problems,
causing more issues? Do you think it's worthwhile maybe kind of like just taking a defensive position in case they decide to attack us, but just watch and see what havoc sort of takes place first of all?
Well, because
I don't know.
We don't appear to be the same as the guys they're attacking, do we? So
no, absolutely not. Yeah,
do a difference if we go in the corner and say, "Hey, not our fight."
Yeah, because ultimately,
and then see what happens. Yeah,
yeah. If they take out the hobgoblins, as we're going to call them, yeah. And we can get that way. We get our hostages back without having to do a crazy deal of giving them a bloody dragon boat, as they suggested. I don't know. I mean, you know.
Quick question. Not all our friends are out here, so why don't we utilize this distraction to see if we can stealth in and find our other companions?
Yeah, that's good. We'll have to take the rest of the guys with us, though, won't we?
The other thing,
yes, we will.
As well.
But I will say one of them is still in better condition than Echo is.
True.
I'm sorry. All these hostages are still in better condition than Echo is at the moment. You know,
Echo's sat chewing tobacco on the boat. Trust me, I know what he's doing.
Yeah, he's back there. He's not out.
Yeah,
he got thunder punched in that first episode, so he's
drinking a can of what was that can that all the squaddies in America drink? The energy drink.
Oh, the Monster Energy drinks?
No, it's this particular name. It was
the Rippets.
Yeah.
Rippets. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was funny too, because like when you went overseas, the local indigenous forces would actually cooperate quite a bit if you had those on hand. And I finally asked one guy, I was like, can you tell me what's going on? Like, why are you guys so into Rippets? And he's like, well, it's not any Rippet, it's the orange ones. And I'm like, really? Why? He goes, we call them Tiger because they are amazing for promoting sexual power. He's like, I have 4 wives, bro. I got to take anything I can get. I was dying. I was like, okay, good to know. But yeah.
Okay. So, I think that's a good plan for Knuckles. Let's get together and do a hasty but protective retreat back into the cave mouth, taking the other hostages with us.
Okay.
And let's see what goes on. Bear in mind, though, we might face a bit of flack going into the cave.
Well, we know that going into the cave, most of that's left in there are women and children, so they're non-combatives. And we also know that from being told by the guy that died, there is another exit out of there. It's not the most pleasant exit for us. It might require a swim, but if we find ourselves cut off from this exit, we do have an alternate exit in there. We just have to find it. So it seems one way or another, one, it's non-combative in there, and so we let them fight it out here.
Yeah, I suppose. And you can speak a little bit
some guards. I'm certain there's some guards.
Yeah, you can speak a bit of the lingo, though, Knuckles. So if we go in the cave on the ploy that we are sort of like still on the hobgoblin side kind of thing, come to reinforce the cave. I don't know, some along those lines.
Sure. Sounds good.
All right, so you guys start advancing toward the entrance.
Yeah.
We look like we're falling back into the cave. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys start advancing. The kind of liaison, the guy who kind of started this whole dialogue, he's like, yes, excellent plan. He's like, come this way. He goes, get in the cave. We will hold them off.
Okay. That sounds like an excellent plan.
He shouts behind him. And what do you call it? Out from this this cave entrance, a flood of his guys start coming out. They part at one point, and you see a guy that's they all have this like ruddy brownish red skin with pointed ears. Their hair is all slicked back and intricately tied. They're wearing almost like a type of either samurai armor or a lamellar style armor, and they the one guy starts almost like herding you, right? He's creating that funnel for you guys to slip through, and he's kind of like, let's go.
Okay, well, works for us.
All right, so you guys start entering in. It's not a straight passage. It's straight for about 20-30 feet, and then it drops sharply. So almost like steps, but it looks like maybe these are water carved. They're not. They don't look man-made. And it opens up into my dog barking. Don't be a jerk. It opens up into a large cavern where they've built some sort of a fort on the inside.
That's live role playing of the Knolls. That's what your dog's doing there.
He just wants to be into everything. He's such a jerk. Let's see. No, is that it? No, wrong map. So, but yeah, it's like a Palisade style. It's like a Palisade style group of buildings. They've lugged lumber in here to. Let me just do this real quick so that everybody can see the map. They've lugged lumber in here to create a Palisade style wall. And the wall that you're seeing is they got the main gate open so that people can kind of truck through. And so you got forces exiting right here.
Yeah.
And you guys are advancing in this way.
Yeah. Okay. So we need to try and identify the location of the remaining hostages. So whether or not that means Knuckles having a chat with some guards, or if it's obvious, can we see the hostages around anywhere?
Well, you're just advancing to the gate now, and it looks like, two gate guards kind of like hustle you in.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it seems like word has been passed.
I'm going to ask the gate guards where their lookout positions are.
Do you switch over to their language?
Yeah.
So if you look down,
That's why I'm using lookout rather than Overwatch position.
Gotcha. You see the ping on the map?
Mhm.
Yep. That is a small tower. It's like a guardhouse.
Okay, and that's their only lookout position?
Yep. It looks like there's only one way in. The rest of everything is kind of bordered off by stone walls and caves.
Okay.
I'm just putting you guys on the map, so give me a second.
With word having been passed, I am going to try and convince them that that we need their other prisoners, our friends, to support this, to fight with us. They have us outnumbered. The enemy has us outnumbered. We need as many hands as we can.
All right. So they kind of come up and they're like, they're all confused. And the one that you're talking to says, "That is not the word I received."
That is not the word you received, but we are outnumbered. Our friends can help.
He says, "Did the chieftain give you leave to collect all of your people?"
We're not collecting them. We're pulling them to. They're going to help us.
Let's try a little bit of intimidation on the guy. I know that Viking is our big bloke, and I know that Viking's got a good intimidation. Maybe if we just get Viking just to sort of muscle up to the guard and sort of force our way past, as though we. Because don't forget, they're quite a martial kind of society that seems to respond to kind of like force and. If it's anything like the Japanese culture, if someone, the respect level, maybe they'll respect a big guy who's going to go, "Get out of our way. We're come here to do something." I don't know. Viking, sort him out.
Yeah. He says,
"Yep, we went with the nice stick. Now we go with the hard stick."
What does he say, Viking?
"If you do not want to die today, I suggest you get our friends here to support us. And I don't plan on dying, so you better get our friends here to support us."
You have presence, right?
Oh, he's got lots of presence.
Presence of 5D with an intimidation specialization. So.
Why don't you go ahead and roll that all 5D and keep 3?
Okay.
Tell me what you get. So
all right, so 11.
Here. All right, he is going to roll against your intimidation, and you got an 11.
Yeah.
5,
4, and a 2.
He, what do you call it? He kind of leans into you, crossing his arms, and gets down to your level, and he's like, "I need more convincing."
Okay.
All right. I think this is a situation where like a butt stroke to the nose would probably solve this situation.
Yeah. Combat knife up the nostril.
You're gonna
kind of stuff.
Like that.
Go full Klingon on him and nut him or something.
Oh, this is gonna get weird. Go for it.
So this would be fighting.
Well, you can either use your fighting or you can use your presence again.
Oh, use your
I'll
presence.
Use my presence. Yeah.
Yeah. Combat knife up his nostril should do the trick.
Okay. So 12.
12.
Hold on during the game.
So he basically just tries to run the buttstock of that machine gun like right up into this guy's grill. The guy just like palms the butt stroke, stops the rifle like an inch from his chin, or stops the machine gun from cracking him like an inch from his chin. But then here's the larger commotion outside, and he says, "You make a valid argument." He says, "Please do not hit my chin and collect your people."
Way to go, Viking. Come on.
Awesome.
All right. So,
Okay, so
where do you go? What do you do?
Where are the people? Do you think they're
where
in
are
the
the
lookout
people?
tower?
Well, you don't know, but you do have somebody who might.
Do we? I thought he died. I thought he got his head cut off.
you had him. You had his head cut off.
Oh, no. I'm talking about the prisoners you brought back with you.
Oh,
yeah,
right,
okay.
of course.
Oh,
Oh, that's right. They did come with us.
Okay, you're
Ask
trying to
them.
make us be stupid now.
Sorry, I forgot about that for a moment. Ask them.
So the chief that's with you kind of points to this building here
Okay.
Okay.
and says that's where that's where they've been held.
Okay. Head there. What I'm going to do, I'm actually going to split off from our party a little bit, from our team a little bit. I am going to hang back and start readying basically Overwatch position. I want to go up in the tower and get a good idea of what's going on and keep an eye out for the group.
All right, so you're gonna go
and
you're
be
gonna go up here?
communicating over comms. Yeah, I'm going to go up there and I'm going to keep my comms open.
Gotcha. All right. There is a guard already up there with a pretty weird piece of kit. He has a repeating crossbow.
Does that tower look the most defensible position in this community, in this cave?
With the palisade? So like they've
Yeah.
built like a wall where the cave walls don't connect and kind of like cut off everything here, and it descends all the way to the cave walls down to the south and north.
And the stairs lead up into the tower. That's the only way into that tower.
There is a small door right in here that they can climb up, and then there's a hatch right here with a ladder.
Okay.
So it might be a good idea to get everybody into the tower and let's just hide out in there and just defend it and see how the fight goes. If we then have to negotiate with the gnolls afterwards,
Will we fit in there and give us enough room to actually fight though?
It would be tight to cram in there, but you're not going to be doing much fighting. There's the exit that's here. That's basically one person wide, and pretty much the same thing in the stairs. It's like one or two people.
So if we get some people lined up with guns against the door and then against the stairs, that should do it, really.
Yeah, and it's not as if we've seen them with anything like grenades, which would be a big no-no in a situation like this. So we should be okay inside.
I mean, also anyone. Sorry, Alice. Anyone on the roof as well could obviously look over. If we've got spare guns, look over into the courtyard and pick people off if need be as well. So,
yep.
So I have a quick question then.
Yes.
Since it's going to be cramped up here, and our chief wants us to all be up here, what is the situation for rooftops? What style of roofs are they? And could I get myself onto a rooftop? I am a trained sniper. Okay.
Easily. So
I'm going to actually take a rooftop position because that's going to, in general, be a better vantage point for the situation and a better lookout for a general area. So I'm going to be on this rooftop, which will give me line of sight to the gate coming in and the active situation. And that way, as my team is funneling our people into the tower to shoot from there, I have a better Overwatch position.
Cool.
Gotcha. All right.
And sorry, Aid, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, that's fine. Don't be silly.
All right. So you start collecting all of your people.
Yeah, and high-footing it into the tower.
As you're up, you get up here. This particular dude right here.
Yeah.
He starts like, hey, blah 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 blah, but you can't understand him.
Yeah. Well, okay. Ignore him. Try and go in, and if he gets aggressive, then tough shit.
He just kind of like puts his arm across the door, like trying to block your path.
I'll just point back towards where you can probably hear the 50-odd creatures storming the cave mouth and just point and do that?
He kind of like, like tries to look around you, sees the original guy you talked to, and then he like knocks on the door. In other words, like, yeah, go in, hurry up.
Right, make this quick. Get in, grab the survivors, and let's get up that tower.
They're very confused, very like it's only dim light in there, and they're trying to figure out like what's going on.
Well, as soon as they see the camouflage and the MK18s, I'm sure they'll understand that the good guys are here. So grab them and get out.
All right, and you guys truck into here.
Yeah, I think so. That's the plan. Like I say, Knuckles has got a good sniper position. I reckon we just get in there, cover all the exits, and let's just see how this fight entails. Because let's face it, we don't fancy charging our way out through 2 lots of combatants. And even though they did say there is another route out, where the hell is it? We've got injured people with us. Let's just see how it unfolds.
Yeah, from what you were told, the route out is more along like this way. And it involves you swimming.
Yeah, and you don't know it. That's,
All right. So, right here. So, Aid, are you still outside the gate like this, or are you taking up a position somewhere?
No, I'll go into the tower. Obviously, don't move, so you can move me.
I love moving.
Yeah, and I'll go. I'll either point my guns either down the stairs or point my guns against that door. Whatever I need to do.
Gotcha. All right, we'll go swing you that way. That's Mike's character. He will go over here and say something pithy and cheesy. All right, so you guys pack everybody in here, right? As this is all going on, I mean, like it's commotion outside. You can hear the fighting going on this way. More of these guys show up.
Also, what the some of the survivors, they are all trained combatants. They might not be fighters as such, but I'll give them my pistol. Anyone who's got sort of sidearms, let's dish them out.
Passing them out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. The chief petty officer that's with them starts directing his crew and is kind of like, hey, let's get this done. Blah blah blah. What the? Don't you hate when you get spammed during your own stream? The fighting intensifies outside, and from your vantage point at the top of the towers, you can see these guys are getting really nervous because it looks like the bulk of their force went outside.
Okay.
Right. So what you see is what they got. After a moment, you start hearing commands being shouted further back in the canyon, and you can see through the buildings like a whole mess of the women and the children are being hustled out the backside. An entire contingent of archers forms up at the back. Unlike the males who have crossbows and then swords, these have a type of curved longbow with brightly colored fletching on their back, radiating out of a quiver. And then you start getting the first hints of the dog guys starting to flood into this area right here. And they are hooting, hollering. It sounds like a wild dog pack ready to slam against these gates. The further back, you see one that's just a little bit different than the other. He's got all sorts of danglies. He's got kind of like decorations or accoutrement, if you will, where he kind of looks like he might be important. And he's doing the whole directing traffic. He sees this guy up top. He holds his hand up, rotates his fingers, and this guy's clothing catches fire.
Shit. There are no barrels of oil in this tower, are there? Or anything like that?
Not that you see. All right, so we have the old initiative from the right before the scene ended the last time. We had John at 5, Jason at 10, Alice at 9, 8 at 15. Did you want to re-roll that, or did you want to roll with what we have?
I'm good.
Yes, reroll. Let's stay
right.
as we are. It's easier, isn't it?
Aid, you're first up. What do you do?
Right. So can I see anybody I can actively shoot from where I am?
Yeah, if you turn around, so you're
Yep.
facing the stairs. But if you turn around, all of the bad guys are right there, and you have a shot at this guy here.
Yep.
You have a shot at that guy there, and then the guy with all the danglies.
Okie dokie. Right, I'll have that. And I believe my shooting is 2D from what I remember.
All right.
And I get an 8.
An 8. All right. He is going to. All right. So the shot goes off, and you see kind of like the air around him shimmer.
Right.
As the air shimmers, he actually changes places with this guy who gets shot.
Something like that.
Right. So the round punches through that guy's head, blasting dog fur and like the contents of his skull onto his buddy. This guy hits this guy. There we go. This guy hits the deck hard. And doesn't move. The rest of them start like yipping and hollering and barking.
Okay.
But yeah. When
I
you
shot
shot
over my
him,
shoulder and said, "I got one, not the one I aimed for, but I got one."
yeah.
I thought we weren't actually going to engage with these people.
Oh, well, they won't know where it comes from.
Jesus Christ.
What do you call it? They're on their initiative. They go next. They get to the gate and start like ramming it, while these guys are going to try and climb the steps of the cave to try and get over this wall. That brings us to Jason is next as Viking.
I think I would take position and take aim at the sorcerer, for lack of exact term, and shoot him with my MK48.
Ooh. You going burst? Are you going full auto? What are we doing?
Let's go full auto.
Dodge that.
Like you do. All right. Give me a roll, please.
So I add this +2 to it, right?
Yep. Well, you roll,
shooting
make the roll,
+2.
and then the +2 gets added per die of what you get.
Okay. All right, so I got 5. Okay, so nice.
What do you got?
All right, so keep the best 3.
Correct.
For machine guns. Okay, so that would be 8, and then plus the
+2 per
+2
die. So how many dice?
So that would be 3 dice. So 6.
Yep. So a total of 6. So 14.
6. Yep.
That brings it to. Ooh, almost lost a die. All right. So you yell out, tell everybody that you're going hot, and shoulder that thing against the rampart and start laying lead. These guys, pretty much in a row, right? It's just a line of lead. You got periodic tracers in there that kind of act like almost like laser beams streaking across the very dim cavern, and you see the chieftain or the shaman or whoever he is changes places with that guy. And this whole crew just gets wasted. And right as that happens, the guy who keeps changing places, he shouts down the corridor at something or someone, and basically starts like, like, hey, get down here, blah, 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 blah. And you see him point back toward the tower. And you can start to see more of these guys starting to crowd in, right? So it looks like whatever force had them pinned up at the bottleneck of that entrance before is now there's a gap in the defense somewhere. All right. That brings us to Alice.
I am going to call out to the. I'm going to call out to some of the guys that understand me when I'm speaking their language, and I'm going to ask, "Do you have any booby traps set?" And right now, while I wait for them to respond, I have no targets to shoot from my position. Do I? Not yet.
Yeah, you can't. You might be able
That's
to
fine.
get the ones that are just entering.
Okay, I will do that then if I am able to. But I'm going to call and ask if they have any booby traps set, and to point me in the direction, I'll go set them off. I'll go, if they have any traps that I can go set off for them.
So the one that's down. Oh, wrong screen. The one that's down here. He shouts up. There's that they have a series of boulders that could cause an avalanche.
Okay. Then I'm going to see if I can make my way over there and use my intrusion then. That's where what I'm going to do instead.
All right. So he starts like pointing and yelling and stuff like that. And he says that the trigger is over here.
Okay. I will go and do that.
All right. And
so I'll head over here.
Perfect. John.
Is this guy still burning in the tower?
He's on fire and he's like slapping himself.
Okay.
So apparently he doesn't know stop, drop, and roll.
Yeah, just a quick scan. There are no barrels of oil up here, are there?
No.
Okay, right. Otherwise, he was going to get a flying leap out the tower
as an igniter.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, right. Okay, so Knuckles is going to do that. Have we got any grenades?
Only if they're on your character sheet. You'd have to look.
I do, but it was already covered. Not a good idea to throw them in this space.
That was a grenade launcher. Okay. I'm going to try and target this shaman, whoever he is. I can see him from the tower using my rifle. So difference between a burst and single shot is any one particularly easier to hit with?
So the burst is going to be like you're starting to create an area effect.
Yeah.
Whereas the single shot, you're going against a single person.
Okay, I'm going to go single shot, take a bead, and try and take out the shaman.
Go for it.
I've got 3 dice in shooting. So let's give it a go.
Roll 3 and take 3.
Okay, come on. Oh, shit. 7. Not the best.
It's actually better than what he got.
Okay, right.
Now,
fine.
Look on your character sheet, right? You should have something called a threat bonus.
+2 for a MK18.
All right. So for every die that you rolled, you can add +2. So that 7 is now a 13.
Nice.
Right. And that has to do with the lethality of the weapon adding to your skill in using it.
Yeah.
It actually basically you hit him and then get a successive raise above that for an additional die of damage. That one actually hits him.
Okay, cool.
And we'll see his reaction to that. It hits him. There's a spray of blood. And he turns around very confused of how that happened.
Yeah.
The Jex, who is up in this tower, he takes a shot at one of the guys that are down here, ramming against the gate. And I will roll for Mike. Mike needs new dice. Well, just to be sure, Mike needs new dice.
Well, you weren't supposed to take Mike's dice if he's not here. You're supposed to use your dice.
I'm supposed to use my dice. Yeah, I gotcha. All right.
We know Mike needs new dice. Mike's dice are terrible.
That brings us back around to Polo. Aid, what are you doing?
Take out this shaman, Polo. Finish him off.
Okay, well, I suppose I should have a go. Everyone else has had a crack, so I might as well have another shot.
Come on. Positive thinking.
I've got 2 Ds, so I'm going to have to roll really particularly high, I think. Oh, and that's not going to be it. A 9.
A 9. Let's see what he does, though.
That's not bad.
He what do you call it? He sees you take aim and kind of gets he tries like moving left and right and like getting really low. You hit the palisade right next to him.
Okay.
Right. So he's like but he still looks in shock. Like, how are you guys able to target him? Like the batteries have run out on something on this guy and he's not happy about it. For his turn, he slaps his hands together.
Oh, here we go.
And there's kind of it's a lot louder than it should be when it happens.
Is it like a Hulk slap?
No, not exactly. He slaps, and it's kind of like it's almost like a miniature thunderclap. And it what do you call it? There's like a wave of fire that just traces straight up the tower. So everybody has to defend against an 18.
Oh, it's okay.
So if you're in the tower, in that particular tower,
damn.
Is it sound or is it physical?
No, it's like straight up fire.
No, it's
like,
fire. So I can use my reflexes then of 4D to basically duck behind the wall.
You're
and just
easy
down.
Absolutely.
That's exactly what I'll do then.
You need to be jumping out of that tower. You're boarding axe. I just noticed that you've got that weapon is a boarding axe, Polo. That sounds awesome. What's that? What's a boarding axe?
So it looks like a tomahawk with a spike at the back.
Oh,
with
come on,
slightly longer handle.
Does that mean I've got to jump off and smack with the end of it? Okay. Oh, I've got an 18 on reflexes for that defense.
Oh yeah, you're good.
Dear me.
All right, John, what did you roll for your?
Well, I've only got 2 dice on reaction, and I can't really think of anything else that I could use that up to avoid a flame strike, what do you want to call it? So I'm gonna have to go for it. 2 dice.
All right.
Here we go. Come on. 7. So that's not quite 18, is it?
No, a little bit. That's a hit and a raise, right?
Okay.
So
nice.
you now have to determine which one of your resistances you want that to come from. So basically, the fire traces up this tower, and in like an explosive rush, it flash burns. Pick one of the resistances, and you want to take 2 dice off of that.
Oh shit! It's like Michael Jackson at the Brit Awards, was it?
Viking, what did you get for your resistance?
I got 13. I'm using fortitude because he's just going to take it.
He's just going to take it. All right, so you take 1 die of damage, and you have to determine which one of your resistances you're going to take that from. Which one are you going to take that from?
I think fortitude would be the smart one.
All right, Alice, you're not in that tower.
Can you go down to 0 on a resistance? Once you go down to 0,
if you go to a 0, you're out of the fight.
Yeah, you're out of the fight.
All right, can you split it? Or have you got? Has it got to come off 1?
You can split it so that all your stats are down to 1.
Because I'm honestly, I'm a weak ass guy. I've got literally like 2 dice and
this is a lot different than a superheroes game. You can die in this pretty quick.
So can I? So 2 dice I've got to take off. Well, if I take off fortitude or reaction, I've only got 2, which means I'm out the count. So that means I've got to come off willpower and is that competency?
Well, if you got
composure
2 dice,
is the last step.
Yeah, if you have 2 dice and you take, so say you took it off of like fortitude and will, right?
Yeah,
that would bring it down to 1 and 1.
Okay, let's do that.
You've got any armor?
Now that
armor.
Said, Will, I don't know if Will has the same restrictions on taking dice off of it in Forgotten Ruin as it does in Supers.
Yeah, because you can Supers.
So if it has if it has the same restrictions, this is not an attack you can take it off will. You have to take it off of fort, composure, fort, or reaction.
Okay, so I'm going to go 1 dice off composure and 1 dice off fortitude.
All right, Aid.
I don't want to get hit.
Give me a dice roll.
What am I rolling for?
So yeah, you're rolling for to see if you can resist.
Oh, I did it. I got an 18.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you did it earlier. Yep. Yeah, you ducked behind.
Bernie.
Viking and Chief are on fire. And this guy right here is just like straight up incinerated right in front of you. Like flash burned. Somebody left him in the microwave way too
Try
long.
not to look at him, seeing I'm like one stage behind him. So I won't watch that.
All right, that brings us to oh no, wait, these guys got to act. These guys are continuing to climb, so it looks like they're going to try and get all the way over. These guys are wrong button. These guys are breaking out axes because they can't ram the door down. And you got one guy here who looks like he's going to start pulling out a bow and start firing at anybody he can see, kind of keeping them off of these guys. All right, so that goes to Aid. You already reacted, correct?
Yes.
Okay, that goes to Jason.
All right. So these other guys that are behind this wall, they're not doing anything but waiting, right?
Right here?
No, on the other side, these guys.
They're climbing. Oh, these guys. Yeah, they're waiting in case something gets breached. And then from what you can tell, they're going to storm wherever gets breached and kind of deal with what makes it past you guys. And like this guy is like last line of defense.
And do I need to roll anything to stop being on fire or?
No, it'll you're taking the damage, so it'll your uniform will basically put it out in the next round.
Okay, I think what I do is I want to light up these guys over here with my MK48.
Roll it. You have to get a 4 or higher.
Okay, well I've got 2 4s at least.
There you go.
And a 3.
So. All right. Well, that did it.
Plus the +2. I forgot. I have those +2s as well.
Yep. So with all 3 dice, that's going to be another 6, right? So you got 2 4s and a what? A 3?
Yeah. So that'd be 2 6s and a 5 with those +2s.
Yep. Just massive amounts of shale, rock, and moss get exploded around them, turn into fragmentation as they take bullets themselves. It's not like in the movies where they wiggle when you hit. They get hit. There's blood splatter. Most of them just slap right into the stone, and basically you punch all 3 of these guys' ticket right into the rock. That brings us to Alice.
Okay, so quick question. Do I see more incoming where that the avalanche would affect at this point?
No, but you can hear more coming down the run.
Okay. Can I basically hold that trigger until more are here, or?
Absolutely.
Okay, great.
Would that shaman be affected by the avalanche?
Yes, he would.
Oh.
Well, then I should just pop it.
Yeah,
I'll pop it.
Let's bury him in rock.
I'm just gonna pop it.
All right. Yeah. You see, he directed you pretty well, and it's kind of like hidden.
And I've got intrusion, lots of dice in that if I need to roll it.
So he what do you call it? You break open the it's kind of like a pressure release. So like you move the stick and then it releases the line which is holding back the netting, keeping all these boulders in place.
Awesome. And it should also create a barrier for us. So
that's exactly their thing.
At the very least, we have a trench to fight from.
And
which is why I asked.
Yep. And what the main guys, what you figure is the main guys probably use this as a sort of like a way to hem things up so that it's the good guys on the outside will fight until they can't fight anymore and then come back later to dig you guys out. Right. So all these boulders just start raining down. There's dust and all sorts of like mayhem going on. It's loud as hell. and it's just like wrong button, massive boulders just tumbling in. The shaman dude gets crushed, and you can hear like the forces that are advancing on you guys. You hear them kind of like change direction or like, oh no, kind of deal. It's not in your language, and it's a lot of barking and braying and stuff like that, but most of it is what do you call it, is pretty chaotic as the boulders finally flood in and you guys are sealed into this whatever.
But we know there's another exit, so we're not completely sealed in.
Correct. And you have 3 lone dudes that are just like, oh crap.
I call out, we'll exchange our friends' prisoners for their prisoners, for real prisoners. They can have those 3. We're taking our people back.
Nobody can probably hear you just yet. There's a lot of commotion going on.
Oh, there's no argument about any of that. We are getting out of here with our people. Simple as.
Oh yes, absolutely.
John, what are you doing?
Well, I'm going to sort of just check and make sure I've still got eyebrows.
Eyebrows? No. The rest of you, you're good.
Okay. Right. Right. Okay. Well. How about doing a bit of first aid? Can we do first aid?
All right. So you guys are coming out of rounds. You're going to let the Hobbs handle the guys on the other side of the gate?
I think so. I'm not going to get involved with those 3. I'm just going to seek out a bit of first aid. Where's Polo? Is Polo on? Oh no, Polo's our pilot. Sorry, Polo.
Yep, he's right here.
Yeah, no.
Who was our first aid?
Mike Canales, isn't it? The first aiders.
What's that?
It was Mike's character, wasn't it?
First aid
yeah, Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike has the first aid skills.
Okay, we'll probably shout at Mike and say, "Come over here with your burn kit."
I have med skills also, actually.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So you start bringing people down.
I think so. Yeah.
Hob up with you. He's gone. He was basically nuked. A couple of these guys go outside the wall. They open the gate and they trounce the remaining dogmen that are outside. The guy that you were dealing with involved with the exchange of prisoners, he starts coming over here to seek out Knuckles, because so far you're the only one who's been able to talk to him.
Okay. Well, I'm running out as we're leaving rounds. I am going to be running out of there. I will go talk to him, but I will say, point me to the wounded, because I have learned their honor system means if I save their lives, if they're critically injured, which in their medical tech, they're critically injured a lot more easily than what my medical tech can fix. Therefore, I'm going to seem like I'm a magic healer to them. If I save their lives, they owe us, and therefore we will have more of them on our side for our extraction. Therefore, I'm going to have him point me to their wounded, and I will say that I can heal them, that I can help them.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, so you start helping out with the wounded?
Yes.
All right.
And therefore make saving their lives, and therefore they will feel indebted to us.
So as you're doing that, the one that's kind of like in charge on this side of the wall, he wants it known that if you need to go with your people, seeing as their head man said it was okay, there is a rear tunnel that you can swim from, but you will have to submerge.
Awesome. Well, we have plenty of time at the moment, so
he says otherwise you're going to have to remain here till we work the dig from both sides. He's like, but we will not start digging until we're sure the threat on the other side is dealt with, which means we have to wait for somebody to swim in here from the back and let us know.
Which means that as soon as I tend to their wounded and give them some basic triage, we are out of here, because we do not want to, unless boss has another plan. Chief, I say as soon as I finish triaging these folks, we book it.
Absolutely. Make sure though that our hostages are in a fit enough state to be able to swim.
They're definitely my priority, but I'm also making sure that these guys have that honor code of debt to us. Therefore, they're not going to be making it more difficult for us.
All right. Yeah. I mean, it takes you a good hour and a half to triage these cats.
We should have that time
Oh,
with
yeah,
the amount of
plenty.
blockade.
Right. So, like they said, they're not even going to touch this until they have a runner come from the other side saying it's clear.
Which
right?
could take like a day.
Yeah, it could take a significant amount of time. Afterwards, John is kind of triaging with the liaising with the people you guys have just rescued, enough to figure out like who's going to need help with a swim, who's going to need this, who's going to need that.
Yeah.
Most of them are fit enough to keep going, but depending on the length of swim, they might need help. Are you guys
we're
doing
naval, right? So
Yeah.
we have scuba gear, basic scuba gear and such, right?
Not with you.
Not on us.
Not with us.
Not
okay.
on us, yeah.
Not with us. Well,
Yeah.
but
We
we
could probably
know
all
how
at
to
least
swim. At
swim,
least
though.
we're
Yeah,
naval.
exactly,
We
yeah.
better know how to
Yeah,
swim.
we can at least swim. Yeah.
All right. Are you guys doing anything else in this kind of like this hidden lair from the Hobbs? Or are you booking it?
I think we book it. I mean, let's face it. What information are we going to gather here? We're not here to gather information.
Yeah,
We've got enough information, haven't we? Really, basically, we know a bit more about what's going on.
Yeah. So apparently, these Hobbs and those dogmen are at odds, and they are willing to slaughter each other in the process. It's kind of what you get watching how.
Yeah,
down.
and even though we were involved heavily with the defeat of the dogs, yeah, we still don't know if the dogs are a better kind of caliber of individuals than the hobgoblins, do we? So let's just get out of here before these hobgoblins change their mind.
All right. So you guys are led to the back, and the back is a huge grotto where it's you got like stalactites, stalagmites. It's all filled with water. They have torches in like a line leading up to the water's edge, and there is a Hob in kind of like light armor. Alberzadente's like, you should eat them. There's the Hob in like light armor, and he's wearing unlike the big armored thick wool, like almost like thick cotton or wool pants that the other soldiers are wearing. They're like the first Hobbs. He's wearing like stuff like the first Hobbs you met, the ones that were in the water. And one of them, that guy sits there and waves, and he's like, "Which one of you speaks our language?"
I do.
He says, "We have brought aid to get you through the tunnel." He's like, "You must do exactly as we say. Do not attempt to deviate, and you will get through the tunnel quickly, so you will not drown."
Understood.
Okay. Have we got
Much
any chemical
appreciated.
light sticks?
Yeah, you guys have chem lights.
Okay, so that's what we'll be using to see where we're going under the water. I don't fancy doing any kind of blind potholing or whatever you want to call it.
Right. He kind of. Are you saying this out loud? Or are you asking?
Yeah.
For...
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So he looks to Knuckles and kind of looks for a translation. Alice, do you translate for them?
Yes, I do.
So between the back and forth, he's kind of interested. He wants to see what these magical non-flaming lights are.
Yeah, get one out, give it a crack, shake it.
He says, and he's thoroughly like, this is like, you've just reinvented fire for this guy, right? So he sits there and he's totally wowed by it. And he said, and he puts his hand up and he kind of signals with the chem light, like, "Can I take this for a minute?" kind of deal.
Yeah, sure.
So he walks into the water up to like his chin and brings the chem light down. And do you remember that giant water serpent you guys fought the first time?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
There is one of those coiled and is like moving through the stalactites on the bottom of the thing, and he shows you it's got like rigging where it looks like a harness all the way down this creature with straps that you can run your wrist into.
Okay, this is getting interesting, isn't it?
And he comes back up and he hands you the chem light. And he's got that look on his face like a brand new private who's just been on a military aircraft for the first time. The best day ever, over a chem light. And he's just like, but like he gestures to the water and like he uses the magic stick. The magic light.
Yeah, stick. But I still like chem lights now. Everyone loves messing with a chem light. You do, don't you? Yeah. There's no way you can get given a chem light and get told, don't crack it.
Right. So he holds it under the water so you guys can get handholds. And this thing is massive, easily 40 feet long. This is the same exact creature that ate Echo. Chewed Echo like a stick. And then he looks to Knuckles and he's like, "Are you good? Are all your people good?"
How long, Knuckles, have we got to hold our breath for? Ask him that at least.
How long do we have to hold our breaths for?
And he he's like, with this, it won't be long.
Awesome. With the chem stick, we're good.
Okay, right. So,
El Berzadente, chem lights are a slippery slope to rave in the cave. You guys are kind of standing there, and the creature starts to glide away, kind of pulling you off your feet gently, and then all of a sudden, it's a mad dash through this thing as it takes off at full speed, and the credits start rolling on Forgotten Ruin. So, and that's the game. That's the hour.
Very good.
Thank you for running it.
How did you guys? Applause. Yes, no, maybe. How do you think it works with the super system?
Good.
Yeah,
it's dangerous.
It works well.
Yeah, it's dangerous. Yeah, when you use the search and destroy engine, it gets dangerous fast.
Yes.
So, but yeah, we want to thank.
This is why you have to think tactically rather than shooting them one at a time. I'm like, where are the traps? Because a fort like this would not have no traps. Come on.
Exactly. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see because obviously most of the combat we had was with mooks. Mm-hmm. So I can imagine if you were coming across a couple of sort of named characters, it's going to get messy.
So when we were playtesting it for Galaxy's Edge, we did a playtest with Alice and a couple of other people, and then we came back and we did like some hard playtests with my playtest group. Mm. We lost 3 teams on one adventure.
Wow.
Like 3 full teams, and they did not think tactically and they got blasted.
I got comments from your crew, like when we played, that they liked how I'm very tactical about certain things.
And that's the thing.
I don't want to get killed.
Yeah, because
let me look for another option.
Most of the damage that you'll take in this is fortitude based. So you got 1, maybe 2 hits in you, depending.
If you're lucky, because that's. Yeah.
Well, when you've got 2 fortitude, like my character has, there's not a lot going on there.
And the thing is, by splitting it in something like composure and fortitude, it's kind of like taking that if you take it all fortitude and you're just out, but if you have the chance to split it, it's kind of like taking that near hit and, you're ducking behind cover and you're like, no, I am not sticking my face out there again.
Mm-hmm.
So
no, that's exactly how. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly why I was like, everyone's going to the tower. I'm not staying in the tower. And then I'm like, wait, let me see this one gun versus, no, I'm looking for a better option.
Yeah, exactly. So we want to thank everybody coming out for sitting with our lunchtime beat 'em ups of the BAMF podcast. Tune in next time where we find another game, find another hour, and find some more friends. Thanks. Bye.
Bye, everyone.